Guruji, um, you said emotionally, can I allow things to be out of control? The whole world is resting on me is because I think without me, nothing will function. So it's a source of ego. But I think I missed a portion where you said that it'll go on without you, which is true. And that's where we learn Sahanam Sarva Dukhanam, and you learn Titiksha. So I was wondering how you would say the whole world is resting on me, or I am resting on the whole world, being dependent emotionally and physically for my sustenance. And this mamakara is what is limiting me by assuming such grand proportions, thinking that I'm it and everybody is a dum-dum. So I'd like a little bit of clarity there.
Yeah. So that whole thing came up because of Krishna's statement that we invoked. So Matstani Sarva Bhutani, he says in the Bhagavad Gita, referring to him, Krishna. Sarva Bhutani Matstani, Mai Sthitani. Means what? The entire world is in me. Is resting on me. Like that he's saying. Okay. Means what? Means what? I am the Adhishtanam of the entire universe. Just like water can say, I am the Adhishtanam of all the waves and the entire ocean also. I am the Adhishtanam means what? I am the support, I am the Ashraya. Water is the Ashraya of the wave. That is the truth of this whole world of water, which we call the ocean, which has all kinds of jivas called the waves. Okay? And so that is the final message. Matstani Sarva Bhutani. And so if that is the message I have to assimilate, I have to understand. I am dependent on the whole world. I'm dependent on so many people and so many things is my idea. Is how I lead my life. Shakra is saying, Shastra is saying, get used to the opposite idea also. Because the opposite idea is going to be talked about later in Vedanta. Matstani Sarva Bhutani. And therefore, how long am I going to keep saying I depend on the world? You depend on the world. Every human body depends on the world. Even the Jnani's body depends on food and shelter and clothing. That is not going to change at all. Body is mithya. Mithya requires mithya for sustenance. There's no doubt about it. But you are not mithya, no. I am not mithya. I am satyam. I am not the body. I am not my sense organs. I am not my mind also. Atma is none of these things. Manobuddhyahankara chittani naham. Nacha shrotra jihve, etc. I am not teacher. I am not student. Na guru naiva shishyaha. That also is going to be told later. So, better get ready for that. So, Bahya Vishaya Analambanam. Now, you said one thing. I am the center of the world, universe. Without me, the world doesn't run. Okay. That is Ahankar. That is Ahankar. In that context, it is Ahankar. Means you have to acknowledge my presence. I am a great guy, you have to acknowledge my presence. No, that is the opposite. It's Ahankar. That is not Upadesha. That's not Matstani Sarvabhuta. But we also use that statement sometimes too. It's also a fact. What is the fact? The universe is incomplete without me. So if I feel depressed and I feel this, that, etc., I have to study Shastram. Shastram says everything has a role to play. Every being has a role to play, however minuscule, however minute. And so, like that, I also have a role to play. In this family, I have a role to play. Even though I don't get any approval, So like that, I have to tell myself, yeah, I have a role model. And like that. So these are all different contexts in which we use that statement. So, so the idea here is what? Bahya Vishaya Analambanam Vrittehe Uparatihi. Uparati means get used to the idea that fundamentally this idea of dependence on things has to go away. The emotional dependence, not physical dependence. Because physical dependence need not go away and will not go away also. Physical dependence, eyesight is failing. What can we do? Tell me. We have to do something. We have to put on glasses. We have to turn on the lights. We have to be more careful. We have to stop driving. So many things are there. So that is part of the process. But emotionally, I am. Then spiritually, who I am. This is emotional preparation for the spiritual teaching that is going to come later. Is that okay, Premaj?
Yes, Guruji, I had missed a small portion of who said this Mastani Sarvabhutani was missing. So that's where I wanted to clarify. Thank you, Guruji. That was very kind.
Mastani, what? Which chapter is it? Is it seventh or I don't know?
Ninth chapter.
Yeah.
Ninth. Ninth.
Or
Ninth.
ninth? Okay. Ninth chapter. Good. Thank you. Jyotiji.
Namaskara, Guruji. When you are telling the story about the calf being held by the tail, my mother-in-law, I remember my mother-in-law, she used to say somebody who is having a controlled behavior and uncontrolled behavior. There is a saying in Kannada, Katti meisodu, bittu meisodu. When we graze the cows, we graze the cow with the leash. So it has a particular circumference beyond which it cannot go. But even in the grazing cows, now if they are not held by a leash or whatever you call that, a rope, they can just wander anywhere. So I feel this Dhamma is like having a leash, and within that circumference, you can do whatever. Your activities can be confined within that limited space. And if you just are not controlled by any leash or anything, you can just wander anywhere and you are lost. So she always used to say, you must always be like the first one, not the second one. So that story, when you are telling about the calf, I remembered, I wanted to share that. And you are also telling about Vak Tapas.
So therefore, just to conclude the discussion, having a leash and staying within boundary is called Dhamma. And without a leash, staying in the boundary is called Shama.
That we have to, it is like electronic fence, which is not visible. Usually in other countries they use. The dogs or any pets, they will know that there is an invisible barrier. And if I try to cross it, I'll get an electric shock. So, I mean, that's what I think we can compare with.
Dhamma with. Compare Dhamma with.
Dhamma. Yeah, I mean Dhamma only. Yes.
Dhamma, yeah. So Dhamma requires external enforcement. Shama is internal discipline.
Self-control.
Yeah.
And you're talking about Vak Tapas.
Uh,
Again in Kannada language, I'm sorry I have to use this sayings. It says, Matu adidare hoitu, muttu odedare hoitu. Once we speak something, it's gone. We cannot get it back. So we must always control our words. And once, if the pearl is dropped and it breaks, how much ever efforts we put, we cannot put it back to the original shape, shine, or whatever. So we have to always have that restraint while doing anything. So these are the two things. And again, you are telling about I'm my ego, I do everything, it's because of me. There again, there is a story. There was one old lady who had, in olden days, there was no fire. So this lady used to maintain fire in her house, and villagers would come and take some of it, maybe some kenda, we say, I'm not getting the exact word. They'll go and start their fire in their kitchens early in the morning to start cooking or doing any of their activities. And she also had a hen or cock or whatever, which used to, I mean, koli kogodu we say, no? That koli will start in the early morning. So she thought it's because of my koli, the village wakes up. And because of my, this one, kenda only, every fire in the, every household is kept alive. So I want to teach a lesson to these villagers. I will just take my chula and my koli and I'll go somewhere. So she disappeared. And she was watching from a corner what is happening to the village. Life was going on as usual. Nobody depended on her. Then she realized, so in Kannada we say Muduki Jamba. Muduki is a Kelvi, old lady. And Muduki Jamba we say. So we should not have Muduki Jamba. Life can go on without us also. So that is the thing. So I wanted to just share these stories, Guruji.
So
Very
my,
nice.
my,
I really enjoyed it.
Very
It's
nice.
good.
my mother used to say, சொல்லாத வார்த்தைக்கு நீ ராஜா, சொன்ன வார்த்தை அது ராஜா. சொல்லாத வார்த்தைக்கு நீ ராஜா. For the unspoken word, you are the king.
Okay. Please come
You have to
again,
control.
madam. Please come again. I'll just write down. சொல்லாத வார்த்தைக்கு நீ ராஜா,
நீ
சொன்ன
ராஜா. சொன்ன வார்த்தை அது ராஜா. Once you have spoken, that rules. Whatever you have said. Whatever you have not spoken, you are in the control of it.
Yes, yes.
Same thing Valluvar said in that Yakava Kainum Nakava Nakava Solidakapata.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, all over. It's all there. Parikirtitaha. It's all well known. In many languages also it is there.
So regarding the tying the cow and calf, you can say you can tie yourself to the Bhagavan. That be the center sthanu. Sorry, that is the sthanu which you have to tie yourself. The center. The circumference, you don't go ahead out of that. For Dhamma.
Okay. Okay. Good. Thank you, Ramaji. Bhagya.
Regarding the ahankara that I am doing everything, she was saying the story. It is like the lizard feeling that I am holding the ceiling.
That's a nice one. It's because of me that this thing is there, you know. Ceiling is where it is. Good, Bhagya.
Jay Kumarji, quick question. I know we talked about how Dhamma is a stepping stone to Shama. I was wondering, can we also think of Shama as contributing to Dhamma? Because we said Shama is Virajya Vishavratat Dosha Drishta Muhurmuhu, right? Having observed the limitations of Vishavritis, we basically focus on the Swalaksha, right? So that is Shama, right? That can also contribute to Dhamma, right? Because you understand that there is no point.
Yeah. So that's not the way we look at it. See, it looks like Shama contributes to Dhamma, but Dhamma itself is needed only when Shama is not there. So if somebody argues like that, then you will say, next time that you don't need that much Dhamma. Because you're more prepared and more mature. And so the Dhamma is, then free will is required. Okay. So not that much free will, not that much push is required. Not that much deliberation. Because you already processed it to a large extent. So it appears like Shama is helping Dhamma.
They work hand in hand.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah, you can look at it like that.
Thanks, Jacob.
Yeah. Haraprasad.
Mahodaya, namaste. It's a very simple question to you. You said in 24-25 sloka 14, apratikaram. Are you saying it is a misprint? It should be apratikaram?
Yeah, correct. I have to check that, but for now I think it is pratikaram.
Why do you say that?
Pratikara Purvakam.
Prati would be towards, right? If we say just
Pratikara
Prati.
is revenge.
Yeah,
Same in
Pratikara.
all the Indian languages. Even in Kannada, we say pratikara. Pratikara, not pratikara.
And in Sanskrit,
Oh.
Prati would be just towards.
Yeah.
That's the short.
Yeah, Prati is towards, so it should be. It should be. It should
We'll
be
look at it.
Pratikaram.
We are going to look at it next class. We have not
Okay.
covered it yet, but
Okay.
I will, when I mention it in next class, I'll
Okay.
get the etymology and then things like that, and we'll come back.
Okay. Okay. Dhanyavada Mahoya. That's all I had. Thank you.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Anvantaraye Mritakalasahasya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Trailokyanatya Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Thank you.
Dhanyavada Mahoya. Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaskar.